The Pittsburgh Steelers win 32-13 in blowout fashion against the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas, but I gotta ask, did that really feel like a blowout win? Let's talk about it.
Here we go. Here we go. Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to Super Bowl.
So, I didn't get a chance to watch this game live with everybody here today, and I was in prior engagements, so I didn't really get to watch much of this game except through the bits through my phone. And you would think, 32-13, finally the Steelers offense got going, finally we got the team working how they should, and it doesn't feel that way total. Now, the defense coming up with 3 turnovers and the special teams getting a blocked punt set the Steelers up for many short fields and many easy drives into the end zone when need be. 32 points is still pretty high for a Steelers game overall, but when you take a look back at the stats, the only really good player on offense, in my opinion today, would be Najee Harris and probably the offensive line. Just, he came out with a huge touchdown run in the third or fourth quarter. Again, I wasn't sure when it happened. That put the Steelers up in a pretty significant way, and he got over 100 yards rushing on the day. Fields got a lot of rushing yards today. He only had 145 passing yards, and the parts I was watching of the game, he was overthrowing a lot. He even had an interception that got called back because we got a very racing roughing the passer call. We got a couple of those this game. If I'm a Raiders fan, I'm yelling at the refs this game because it feels like we kind of got screwed. And I'm a Steelers fan, and I'm kind of agreeing. Yeah, you guys kind of got screwed on some of those roughing the passer type calls. So I wasn't all that impressed with Justin Fields today, taking 3 significant sacks and not looking the best. I'm still on team. I think we'll give Russell a shot. He brought Russell in. He's getting healthy. I would like to see somebody who's seasoned, that knows how to maneuver receivers around, maybe be more of a field general, see how he does in the offense, and maybe with that sense, that's things that Fields can learn from, as hopefully he's our future starter moving forward. But I do think it would be nice to get a game or two with Russell in there just to see how things are working. And if he can move some of these pieces around and have the offense producing 32 points without the need to be starting the ball at like the 20-yard line every single drive of the opponent. Defensively, there was a few drives where the defense were letting things up, but they were saved by a lot of turnovers they created, including one red zone turnover in the second half that kind of put the game away as the Steelers took the ball and were able to drive down the field and get some points to separate this game overall. But 3 turnovers on the defensive side, a blocked punt that put basically the Steelers inside the red zone to start. This game is one where you're like, man, it's nice that we won 32-13, didn't have to sweat at the end. But I wasn't that proud and being like, ooh, we're great. This is exactly what we needed to do. Offense, passing-wise, still felt pretty bad. Fields wasn't that on target a whole lot. He looked like a guy worried that his job might be taken away. And I actually think there's a good chance next week that Russell gets a start because of how he looked. And if it wasn't for the defense getting so many turnovers and the refs really saving the Steelers on 3rd and longs or turnover plays that actually weren't turnovers, drive extending this game's probably a lot closer, and maybe the Raiders have a chance at winning because their quarterback threw for over 200 yards today. Because even though, Aiden O'Connell is first, I believe maybe his first start ever, or one of his first starts, the Steelers still have the problem of chuck it short for 3, 4, 5 yards, and it can easily, they don't stop it as well. So I don't know how to feel about this. I believe we have the New York Jets next, and I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers and crew with their coach fired and everything is just going to be even more of a mess that we can take advantage of next week. But this was like one of those, you would have a friend come to me tomorrow and be like, hey, I saw the Steelers won 32-13. That must have been an awesome game. And I'd be like, it didn't look that great. It really felt like it should have been like an 18-13 type of game. We just got help from the refs and a lot of great turnovers and big plays. But Maybe I'm wrong. Steeler fans watching the video, tell me what you think down below as we move out here. They're 4-2, 6 weeks in, so we can't complain too much. Tied with the Ravens for first in the division. Browns lost again today. That's nice. And we're still potentially pulling away from the 1-4 Bengals. So it's becoming a 2-horse race for the AFC North. But I wasn't too pleased with our effort today offensively outside of Najee Harris on the offensive line, because even with Fields' 3 sacks, I feel like the offensive line gave him plenty of time for most of the day to throw passes around. But that's going to be it for this one. Check out any movie reviews I have here on the channel, and I'll see you next week for a live watch-along of the New York Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers here on Josh Does Movies. Until then, here we go, Steelers.